do you do it?
My skin gives me the extra confidence to light up the room. That's why I'm deliberate about how I nourish my skin. I use a soap made with the right natural ingredients.
A soap? Which one?
A soap that contains shea butter and aloe vera, turmeric and honey for a glowing skin.
Experience the new Joy Black Soap, made with over 7 natural ingredients that moisturize, restore, and repair your skin, giving you the confidence to be who you love to be. Joy, beauty my way.
Right here. I'm Oluwadamlola Emmanuel, the General Manager, Lagos State Waterways Authority, and you're listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment.
Up next, a dive into the papers on the Law FM Morning Show.
It's time to take a look at the papers. Let's visit the newsstand for that. Well, this is the segment we call the newsstand on the FM Morning Show. And it's time to check what the papers, the dailies across Nigeria are reporting for you this beautiful morning. 18 minutes past 9 o'clock. Let's get there real quick and begin this beautiful Monday morning with Daily Sun newspaper. Daily Sun newspaper. The lead here is fuel subsidy is expected. Nigeria Labour Congress boycotts talks with federal government, insists on Wednesday strike. There are a few riders to this story. You'll find this story across various dailies this morning. In any case, we move from there. Anxiety in military over expected appointment of new service chiefs. 300 generals, admirals, AVM risk retirement. And to some more stories around fuel subsidy. Ipman hails federal government over approval for private importers, says price will crash. Gunmen abduct Catholic priest in Anambra. To some other stories, sit at home. Bishops Ona Chukuma, Enugu town unions back Governor Mba. Well, the backstory to this would be the fact that the new governor of Enugu State had declared an end to the sit at home in the state. And I saw a statement by the police command in the state as well, that's Enugu State yesterday, saying that they would move in line with the directive by the governor. But a conversation we would have later. United Nigeria Airlines unfold plans to enlarge fleet. All right, prepares for operations outside Nigeria. But away from that, to this one, just below the masthead, it's a front page editorial. 10th Senate Southeast deserves the Senate presidency. And that's what it looks like right here on the cover page of Daily Sun this Monday, the 5th of June.
Yes, and on the Punch newspaper this morning, you have Senate queries Accountant General over 910 billion naira MDA's loans. That's on page 37. You have trapped funds, foreign airlines plan meeting with federal government. That's on page 38. And also on page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning, you have PDP wants Tinubu to make asset declaration public. Well, what are the legal implications? Is there anything compelling the president to do that? Well, you pick up the Punch newspaper to get more details. You have subsidy. NLC shuns FG meeting electricity workers back strike. That's a repeat story. But 2 riders, NLC faults negotiation team. Lagos, Nasarawa, more states chapters join strike. TUC demands salary increase. Fuel subsidy. Fuel importers seek equal access to forex, and this is very important, you know. Well, you also have OPEC raises Nigeria's output as Saudi Arabia cuts production. That's on page 38. Well, interesting meeting from OPEC yesterday there. You also have 18 die in Kano crash. FRSC boss warns against overloading. That's on page 4 and page 5 of the Punch newspaper. And finally, you have NDLEA seizes 390 kilograms of illicit drugs in 4 states. That's on page 4 and page 5 of the Punch newspaper.
This Nigeria newspaper is next this Monday. Subsidy also on the front burner, very much on the cover page of this Nigeria, as you would see in several other dailies today. But away from that, foreign airlines blocked fund in Nigeria hit $812.2 million, and this is according to the International Airline Transport Association. All right, away from that, audit report recovered 910 billion naira short-term loans from ministries, departments, and agencies, Senate tells Accountant General. Probe missing $2.1 billion, 3.1 trillion naira of subsidy payment. Sarab urges Tinubu again. Probe missing $2.1 billion, 3.1 trillion naira of subsidy payment. Sarab urges Tinubu. And away from that, to Senate presidency uncertainty as Tinubu meets opposition senators elect today. Some already attending meetings with Yari Babio. That's a rider to that story, but that's what the cover page of this Nigerian newspaper looks like today.
And on the Guardian this morning, you have a bold headline: Auto gas stalls as NNPC marketers bicker over 500 billion debt. Prorated fuel cost. That's on page 6. You have a rider to that: darkness looms as electricity workers may shut down national grid. What a gloomy story there. NLC boycotts meeting as federal government, as FGTUC seek options out of Wednesday strike. That's on page 6 of the the daily there. You have Yoruba Ronu urges Tinubu to prevent labor unions strike. That's on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. You also have another story at the bottom of it: why Tinubu has not appointed his spokesman. That's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. You also have Nigeria's broadband penetration drops as telcos lose 2.5 million voice customers. Why is this happening? Well, you pick up the Guardian newspaper to learn more. You have 7 days into second term. Sanwo-Olu yet to make appointment. Why has he not made this appointment? What are the reasons? When will he make this appointment? Perhaps at the point, the Guardian newspaper has some stories to review. Finally, you have at the foot of the Guardian newspaper, you have terrorists kill many in Zamfara communities, abduct 30 girls. That's on page 7 of the Guardian newspaper. Sorry, story there from Zamfara State.
Alrighty then, done with the headlines, but there's so much more to those headlines you heard. Let's delve, or maybe dive also into these details and get you talking about that. So we've got a guest standing by for that, for analysis as well, to these headlines and the stories that follow them. You can definitely be part of the conversation by joining the Facebook live broadcast there, facebook.com/LawFM1039, or Twitter LawFM_radio, or simply joining via WhatsApp 0703 2277338 or 0909 555 1039. Let's now link up with our guest for this morning. Tunji Abdulhammed is a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Good morning to you, Tunji Abdulhammed, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Kingsley. Good morning, Felix.
Good morning, welcome.
I greet you especially. Good morning.
Appreciate it. All right. Well, the issue of fuel subsidies, we're not expecting that it will go away anytime soon. But the representatives of the federal government yesterday met with Trade Union Congress. You recall that last Wednesday, the Nigeria Labour Congress and representatives of the Trade Union Congress, including the president of the Congress, were at a meeting with representatives of the federal government. And they, at that meeting, well, we hear that ended in a deadlock, more like no agreement was reached And you recall that the spokesperson of the delegation of the federal government, Dili Alake, did say that, well, this is just the beginning. Further conversations would happen. That happened yesterday, but the Nigeria Labour Congress wasn't present in that meeting. But Dili Alake, rising from that meeting yesterday with the TUC, did say that the federal government would put together a tripartite committee to look into the demands of the Trade Union Congress, which would include an increase in minimum wage. Let's get your thoughts on that. Is this the right direction to go for the Tinubu administration in resolving the issues, the larger impact of the declaration of the removal of subsidy?
I don't know what you're talking about. Hello? Hello?
Tunji, we can hear you.
Yeah, for me, what the government is trying to do now by trying to negotiate with Labour and the trade union or whatever is what they ought to have done before the announcement, before they even take steps to say the subsidy is gone. We are often we are used to in this country put the cart before the horse. We do things in a way that is awkward sometimes. For me, you can't just say you are doing subsidy without looking at the likely consequences of it. That's what the government has failed to do. It's failed to look at the consequences, and that's what the Labour is fighting for. Labour is fighting. It's not saying that don't remove subsidy, because some people will misquote them now. They are not saying don't remove subsidy. Say before you remove subsidy, you must put in place certain things. That's what they are fighting for. The government should put in place the necessary things first. Let refinery work. Let's have constant electricity. Let's have water supply. Let's have good roads. Let commodity prices of commodity come down or reasonable. At that level, you cannot say yes, we want to remove subsidy. Everybody will support. As it is today, I cannot even guarantee that when the subsidy is removed, and whatever gain that is removed, that is recovered from it, will not be used to fund the flamboyant lifestyle of our leaders. So I will not say Labour should not go on strike. We need to put pressure. Labour is a pressure group. We need to put the government under pressure to do the right thing. If going on strike, we bring out the government to do the right thing. So be it for me. If my worry is that I have lost confidence in the leadership of Labour. I'm not talking about these are new members, but all the same, they are like the Indian government. I have lost my confidence in them because tomorrow now they will come out, they will start the strike. A day after or two, they will not have achieved their aim. They will call up for suspense, and nothing will be had.
So according to them, according to the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, that strike should happen on Wednesday. But I suppose there should be a meeting again tomorrow between the federal government and the Trade Union Congress. So maybe further issues would be addressed, and that would stall the continuation of the strike. But that said, it is not just the Nigeria Labour Congress who has said we'll go on strike. The Nigeria Union of Journalists have said they would also go on strike. They held an emergency meeting on Saturday, and it was even virtual, and they said, okay, we need to do this in solidarity with the Nigeria Labour Congress. Electricity workers in the country have also said they would embark on strike. I think judicial
workers is going on strike.
Also said they would go on strike. If we have all of this happen already, I think it was yesterday on Friday or so, someone was complaining about health workers being on strike. She couldn't see doctors, she couldn't do nothing. Her health has just been there. If we have this, wouldn't this be too soon in the administration, in new administration? As a matter of fact, today makes it exactly 1 week. Are we moving way too fast? Should we give the administration a chance? Should labor unions across the country do so?
Let me first correct an impression. The NUJ joining the strike, the electricity joining the strike, and whoever that is joining the strike are not joining us in solidarity. They are joining as an affiliate of those of labor and in other words, their parent body is directing them to do things. They are joining them. So it's not solidarity. They are part of it. So they are as well. So let's put that in that regard. What is that the main question? Sorry.
Yeah, if this is not too fast, if this is not too quick, it's exactly 7 days.
What is the strike or what?
Yes, the strike action.
If it's not too quick to remove subsidy on the first day you enter government, it's not too quick to also go on strike to react to it.
But who bears the brunt? Who bears the brunt at the end of the day? Is it not the common man? I mean, look at it. People are going to go on strike. Those who do public transport, those who sell petty things, they would most likely not get customers. And if this strike extends or lasts, that's another argument. They would last for, say, days.
Yeah, just like the government will tell you, no pain, no gain. Let's have a pain. Let's endure the pain and gain later. That's just like what the government will tell you. And what they've been telling us all this while. They've been telling us for years, for over 40 years. I've been hearing we have to endure. We'll be enduring and there is no place. So for masses, the masses you need to do, what they need to do to choose between either continue with the hardship or align with labor to force the government to fast back to the status quo.
So it's a fight. So it's a fight to finish.
What is it?
So it's a fight to finish.
For me, I will not, if labor knows that they will not do fight to finish, they will not achieve their result before calling off to strike. They better not go into strike. If you are going on strike, please go on strike and ensure you achieve your objective or aim before calling off. Anything sort of that. Anything calling off based on promises. Calling off based on don't worry, just let's continue the way it is. We'll adjust it. As far as I'm concerned, it's a waste of time, and it will further confirm my lack of confidence in the leadership of the labor unions. As far as I'm concerned, we need to put government under pressure. You see, my worry is this: I have lost confidence in our government. I have lost trust in them because people who are in government today, they will be outside government tomorrow. They will say different things. When they come into government, those things they condemn when they were outside is what they will be doing. So for me to see that people who have at a particular time go on the streets or occupy so many places just because of removal of subsidy are the same people who are now at the forefront of that removal today. That shows that the society needs. It shows it's all politics. So as far as I'm concerned, we need to throw away politics. We need to look at policies of government and support it wherever is good. I'm not against subsidy removal. What I'm against is the manner in which it's being removed. There are you can't build house without foundation. That foundation is to collapse. You can't put the law will say you can't put something on nothing and expect it to stand. So what the government has done now is to want to build house. Maybe they want to go to space now. Right. Without anything. So there's no foundation for this removal of subsidy, and therefore we create more. Government is in place to soften the hardship of the masses, not to ask them to tighten their bed all the time. We have been hearing all this. Whenever the government come in, we say, tight your bed, tight your bed, tight your bed.
So I'm tempted to ask, who is going to suffer this at the end of the? I mean, the government or the citizens?
In the two way, masses will be the one to suffer. Or in the two ways, both in government will not suffer. In fact, I don't even have the confidence that the money that will be saved from that subsidy removal will not be used for the benefit of the people in government. Because how can you tell me that you are removing subsidy because only people are benefiting it, and people who have been giving money to do subsidy are not doing it? Who are they? Where are they? Are they not supposed? Are they above the law? Can they be taken to account? Can they be held to account? Or they be held to take responsibility for not doing their right thing? Or can they be taken to court? So if you are saying if you are saying this is the reason, we are justifying failure of government, because people will say, hey, no, why should only people are benefiting it? Why should we allow them to continue like that? We are justifying failure of government not doing its job.
All right, Tunji Abdulhammed, barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, is our guest on the newsstand this morning. We need to go on a short break. When we get back from this break, we'll look at some more stories on the cover pages this morning. There's the Enugu State situation to talk about, where the governor is making a move towards ensuring security in the state and productivity as well. Well, that's and a lot more to come after this very short break. Do stay tuned here on the station for knowledge and entertainment, LFM 103.9.
Strap yourself in because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go on Law FM 103.9.
Finest babe. How do you do it?
My skin gives me the extra confidence to light up the room. That's why I'm deliberate about how I nourish my skin. I use a soap made with the right natural ingredients.
A soap? Which one?
A soap that contains shea butter and aloe vera, turmeric and honey for a glowing skin.
Experience the new Joy Black Soap, made with over 7 natural ingredients that moisturize, restore, and repair your skin, giving you the confidence to be who you love to be. Joy, beauty my way.
Hold on tight.
I'm Olufemi Pedro.
I'm Omoyele Showore.
My name is Honorable Akim Dixon.
This is Honorable Adekunle Akobada.
I'm Dele Momodu, and you are listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment. Your only law radio station.
Thanks indeed for staying tuned. Let's talk some more. We did read you so many headlines on the cover pages this morning, but let's before we get to Enugu State, as promised, let's go to Kano State, where something a lot more like is happening there. Well, the new government in Kano on Saturday commenced the demolition of buildings on government land sold by the immediate past administration of Abdullahi Ganduje. The demolished property, a 3-story building with 90 shops, is located on a race course at the Nasarawa government reserved area. The new governor, Abba Yusuf, was present during the demolition. The governor was led to the demolition exercised by the police commissioner, Mohammed Gumel. Yusuf had promised to demolish structures erected on government land sold by the Ganduje administration, and that happened on Saturday. But there's a lot more that the governor is doing. He's announced the revocation of the sale of Ashia Bayero Pediatric Hospital, right? And the hospital was allegedly sold during the administration of former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje to an All Progressives Congress chieftain. That's the report. It was reportedly sold to an All Progressives Congress chieftain, and Governor Yusuf made this announcement during his visit to the hospital, reaffirming his commitment to enhancing healthcare services, particularly for women and children. Tunji Abdulhammed is a guest on the newsstand. Tunji, your thoughts though on the moves made by the new governors, especially first-time governors, right? We've seen what Sheyi Makinde is doing in your state. Is now declared an end to thuggery. In some other states, the new governors are doing things against some of the policies and structures put in place by the previous administration, their predecessors. What's your take on all of this, especially now that in Kano State a demolition has happened on an already sold property? Tunji? Hello? Yeah.
If you buy a property that is not properly covered with I'm talking about it fall within the government acquisition.
Yeah.
It's not in a place where it should be in it. The government has the right to take steps. In other words, what I'm saying is that people in Nigeria, we just do things without proper due diligence. We don't care, and sometimes we compare that. So since Mr. A can do it and nothing has happened, I also go and do it.
Tunji, this property we're talking about, a 3-story building, by the way, with 90 shops, was sold to this individual. We're not sure who now, but was sold by the administration of Abdullahi Ganduje.
Was said to have been sold to him by the government.
Yes.
Yes. Unfortunately, that's what they do sometimes. The government is like I often said. Sometimes the government encourages and collaborates with illegality in this country, and they make people vulnerable. They will sell property to you that is not proper, and the same government will come back thereafter and say you are occupying an illegal place or your property must go. And that is why sometimes it is not proper to do. We have a serious problem in this country. And my worry again is that, look, even when you have infringed, you have acted contrary to the law, the way and manner property has been in this country are not in line with the law. No government has the power to naturally just go and destroy property in the name of it's illegally constructed. You must take proper step. You must give notice. You must go to court and obtain order. I hardly see that in this country. What I hear is that we get them notice. Sometimes 2 days notice. Sometimes 1 day notice. Sometimes 1 week. Sometimes 7 days. The law did not say just give them notice. You must go to court and get order for you to demolish. But we don't see that in this country, and the people are taking it to be normal. And they will just go. In fact, sometimes they go in the middle of the night when people are sleeping. They will not even give them opportunity to remove anything in their houses. It's unfortunate. Government need to work with a human face. Sometimes when things have been done, and then you look for a way of correcting it and see how to correct it, how to ameliorate it, and in other words, so that those who bought it genuinely. Because if you bought property from the government, that means you bought genuinely. If the government bought sold property to me, I will assume that property is good. Are you getting me? Yeah. So if I bought from the government, that means I have genuinely bought a good property from the government. So if the same government is coming to say, look, this property was only sold to you, it's not for the government to just come and wake up one day and just come and destroy it. It must give me alternative. It must even give me compensation. Even though it's illegal, because I bought from you, from the government.
All right.
And you see, the garden where you mentioned the people, the thuggery or something. You say these same people who are in government are the one who are encouraging them. They give them all the avenue to operate. When they fell out of place, they now want to change the system. I don't believe that they are trying to eliminate them. They are trying to change the leadership of those people so that maybe they are out of there. They are no longer in a tune, and then they will bring some new people into our board. Unfortunately, we have government in place in this country where those who are considered as thugs are now the leaders of our society.
All right, we'll leave it at that, Mr. Tunji. Let's look at another story from the Punch newspaper. NDLEA seizes 390 kilograms of illicit drugs in 4 states. The story goes on to say that operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have intercepted not less than 76.9 kg of Canadian loud, a synthetic strain of cannabis, from 4 used vehicles in a container from Canada at the Port Harcourt Port Complex on Nair in Rivers State. The story goes on to say that the illicit drugs were seized between June 1st and 2nd during a joint inspection of the shipment with men of the Nigerian Customs Service. There are other seizures, that were made by, the NDLEA. What came to your mind when you heard about this story?
Yeah, they have always been on the newspaper, particularly NDLEA during the reign of this current leader. Uzoma. He's only been doing that, but all the same, I just hope it's not a media hype for them, because this is actually growing. And if other agencies can work in this manner, in other words, I'm talking about if it's not a media hype, they can work in this manner. The issue of people are smuggling petrol outside the country will not be there, because that's one of the reasons why we are talking about subsidy, saying our neighbors are enjoying subsidy. How do they take the fuel to those neighbors? Don't we have people who are manning our border? Don't we have people who are collecting money? So what I'm saying is that, look, fight against crime should be holistic. It should not be about paddy or sentiment. And that's what we're seeing. All we're seeing in this country is that it's about paddy. It's about sentiment. It's not about doing the right thing. But I think we need to commend Buba Marua if truly they are doing what they are doing is not a media hype.
All right, let's check out our last story on the newsstand this morning before we get to other segments on the Law FM Morning Show. Now, the Catholic Bishop of Nsukka Diocese, Most Reverend Godfrey Onan, the Anglican Archbishop of Enugu Ecclesiastical Province, Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, and the Enugu State Association of Presidents General of Town Unions have thrown their weight behind the move of the government of Enugu State to end sit at home in the state starting from today, saying it is long overdue. They equally expressed total support for the Governor Peter Mbah's call for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from detention, saying it is the right path to national healing and stability in the region. Let me get your thoughts on the bold move by the Enugu State governor in putting an end to that. This begins today, to take effect today, and what you have to say about other states in the region.
Are we able to confirm that the people are now working today, Monday? They are out in line with that, because they wanted to make a statement, another thing for people to implement. Because I doubt if people have confidence in government compared to these people who ask them not to come out. Because I've often seen that, look, whenever a government make a pronouncement and the non-government actor or state actor, they make a similar statement or a contrary statement, people tend to believe in them than the government. So let's hold our hand and see whether or not today will be a success. If that is the case, it's a good move, because it's not proper for you to just, when you are fighting government and you are also dealing with your people, because you are dealing with your people by not allowing them to go out to do their businesses. You are crippling their businesses. You are wrecking their needs. So I think it's a good move, but I just hope the government will put in place adequate security to be able to implement that a policy or directive in that regard. And the calling for the release of Nnamdi Kano, I think is a good release of Nnamdi Kano will, to an extent, bring a peace to that community. For me as a lawyer, even though I know there's an appeal and the matter is in court, I don't see the basis why Nnamdi Kano is still in custody.
All right. Okay, we'll leave things there on the newsstand this morning on FM 103.9, and especially thank you, Tunji Abdulhammed, barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Have a good Monday. Yeah. God bless you indeed. Yeah. Cheers. Now time for a short break. When we get back from this break, we'll get talking. Switch gears to the discourse, and you get to meet the guest as we talk about the controversial removal of fuel subsidy and all that has since ensued since last month, exactly 1 week ago, when the president declared an end, or said it is essentially gone. That would be the next conversation. Do stay tuned.
I will implore you, in addition to your course of study, whether you want to migrate, whether it is on strike, acquire 1 or 2 skills. Short skills that will always be relevant. Please, you never can know where you will need such skill. I am Engineer Olaomi Gaspar, and you're listening to Law FM 103.9.
They are the leaders of the country today. Tomorrow has come.
Law is meant to be understood by everyone in society, irrespective of age or status. No bias. It should be clear and precise. Law FM 103.9 gives you the best content, and they are here for you. My name is Khadija Okunulamidi, and I urge you to keep listening to Law FM 103.9.
Hello guys, my name is Dele Momodu, and you are listening to Law FM 103.9 for knowledge and entertainment. Your only law radio station.
When you listen to this station, you learn about your rights. You discover the law in ways you never imagined. You know why? Because we broadcast in your interest.
It's a problem that we are all experiencing in the country. Different parts of the country, the same thing is happening. So who do we call on to? Who do we hold responsible?
We impact knowledge.
If the grid is unable to shed the load that it ought to, it could also result in the collapse of the national grid.
Call it what you may, but we are here to stay. The law was never biased, so why should it be now? To every individual, we are Law FM 103.9.
There are no internal electricity boards.
Let's talk. Let's converse. Let's have fun.
It doesn't get better than this.
103.9 Law FM.
Time to talk, time to converse. It's 51 minutes past 9. Let's get to the discourse this morning and talk about the most controversial topic in Nigeria right now, the removal of fuel subsidy. This decision by the government has not only sparked nationwide conversations, but has also generated mixed reactions from the citizens. Today we'll be looking at